Welcome to the Deep Dive, the place where we go beyond the headlines, really unpack complex info and pull out those surprising insights. Our mission is simple: cut through the noise, give you a shortcut to being really well informed. Today we are digging deep into something vital for absolutely everyone. Doesn't matter your age, your fitness level, none of that. We're talking about mobility and its profound impact on your health and how long you live. Often underestimated, I think. Yeah, and for this, we're leaning heavily on the work of Dr. Vonda Wright. She's a board-certified orthopedic surgeon, really a leading authority on active aging. You might know her books like Fitness After 40 or Younger in 8 Weeks, just packed with science-backed stuff. Great material for us.
Absolutely. And digging into her work, it honestly made me rethink some things. We're going to uncover some hidden risks you might not even be aware of. We'll talk about why lean muscle isn't just about looks. It can literally save your life. And this is fascinating, how your bones are way more than just, scaffolding. They're actually dynamic organs, constantly sending signals, influencing your brain, your metabolism, everything.
Yeah, that bone part blew me away. And things like sedentary death syndrome. We'll unpack what that really means. And discovering these powerful proteins like Klotho will break it all down. And crucially, give you practical science-backed things you can actually do. So think of this as your deep dive into understanding how movement truly is medicine for your body. Okay, so let's kick off with that term I mentioned. It sounds, pretty dramatic maybe. Sedentary death syndrome. What's Dr. Wright actually getting at here?
It is a powerful term, isn't it? But she uses it quite specifically. It's really a descriptor for this group of, I think it's 33 chronic diseases. We're talking heart disease, stroke, diabetes, even brain diseases. And the common thread, the thing linking them all, it's the lack of movement. It either drives these conditions or makes them significantly worse.
33, wow.
Yep.
So it's not just one or two things.
Not at all. And, we often talk about, okay, take this pill for high blood pressure, another one for your heart, maybe one for diabetes.
The typical approach.
Exactly. But Dr. Wright's point is that movement, just moving your body consistently, it acts like the one pill that helps all of these conditions. It's the medicine for what she calls sedentary death syndrome. It's foundational.
This is just a striking way to frame it. Movement as a single pill. It kind of suggests we might be overcomplicating things, looking for all these separate fixes when maybe one fundamental change could do so much.
Yeah. Precisely. And if you zoom out a bit, connect this to the bigger picture of aging. It means we aren't just, passive victims watching the clock tick. On a cellular level, aging involves things Dr. Wright calls time bombs. Things like mitochondria not working as well. Those are the energy factories in our cells. Or you get more of these senescent cells. People call them zombie cells.
Yes, I've heard of those. Not good.
Definitely not good. They circulate and kind of promote aging. And then there's chronic inflammation, which is underneath so many health problems. But here's the empowering part. Our lifestyle, especially movement, can actually control these cellular things. You can literally change your cellular health starting now with action.
That really does reframe aging, puts more control back in our court. Okay, so let's challenge how we think about muscle now. This idea that lean muscle mass can literally save your life. We usually think, aesthetics, maybe strength.
Right, how much you can lift or how you look.
Exactly. But Dr. Wright's work suggests it's, much deeper than that. How so?
Well, from basically every angle, metabolic health, functional ability, just overall health, your lean muscle mass is incredibly important. Maybe the most important thing. You're born with around 650 muscles, and here's the great news. You absolutely can keep that muscle mass throughout your life. It's not about being some elite athlete. It's about consistent daily investment in moving your body in mobility.
She uses this visual analogy that really drives this home for me. She compares a 40-year-old's thigh muscle, somewhat active, to a flank steak. Lean, dense.
Yes, solid muscle.
But then she shows what can happen after, say, 35 years of being mostly sedentary. That same thigh area, huge muscle loss, big sort of rinds of fat have infiltrated. It looks like Kobe beef, all marbled with fat. That visual is pretty jarring.
It really is, and it's crucial to understand this isn't just about looks or even weight on the scale. That fat, it isn't just sitting there. Dr. Wright calls it a noxious metabolic organ.
Noxious? Wow.
Yeah, meaning it's actively pumping out harmful chemicals, inflammatory signals into your body. It contributes directly to disease. But then you look at, say, the thigh of a 70-year-old triathlete in her examples. It's lean, strong, very flank steak. That muscle is what keeps you functionally independent, prevents those devastating falls, hip fractures. things that can really change your life negatively as you get older.
That distinction is so important. Fat as an active source of harm, not just passive storage. And speaking of active things, here's where it got really fascinating for me, maybe an aha moment for listeners too. Dr. Wright says bones aren't just rigid scaffolding.
Right, not just hangers for our muscles.
Exactly. She argues there are powerful dynamic messengers influencing your brain, metabolism, even your longevity. How on earth does that work?
It fundamentally shifts how we should think about our skeleton, doesn't it? Bone is constantly releasing proteins, hormones, it's communicating. A fantastic example is this hormone called osteocalcin. When your bones release osteocalcin, it travels up to your brain and stimulates something called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor.
Okay, BDNF. I know that's important for brain health.
Critically important. It helps build new neurons, supports memory, learning, and this is exactly why Dr. Wright points out this direct link. People with osteoporosis, meaning weaker bones, have a significantly higher risk of developing dementia. The bone-brain connection is real, but it's not just the brain. Osteocalcin also travels to your muscles, helping them use glucose better. It goes to your pancreas, helping with insulin production and balancing blood sugar, so protection against diabetes.
Pancreas too.
And for men, it even goes to the testes and helps with testosterone production. It shows that bone and muscle, they're not static. They are dynamic metabolic organs constantly talking to each other. Like when your muscles contract, they release their own messengers, like a factor called irisin. Irisin talks back to the bone, telling it to get stronger, lay down more tissue. Plus, irisin is also key for glucose metabolism and benefits the brain too. It's this constant crosstalk.
So bones talking to the brain, muscles, pancreas. Muscles talking back to bones. It's like this whole internal communication network we barely knew about. Amazing. And building on that, muscles also release another protein, one tied directly to longevity. Let's talk about Klotho.
Klotho, yes! It's often called the longevity protein, and for good reason. When your muscles contract, they release Klotho, and it circulates everywhere to all your organs. Its job, essentially, is to help keep them youthful and functioning well. We know from animal studies, mice that are engineered so they can't make Klotho, they age incredibly fast and die very young. It really highlights how fundamental it is.
Okay, so it's clearly important.
But here's the really, really surprising part. Dr. Wright did this study where they measured Klotho levels in people's blood. And yes, active middle-aged people had good levels. But get this, active people over the age of 70, they actually produced more circulating Klotho protein than sedentary 35-year-olds.
Wait, say that again. More Klotho in active 70-year-olds than in active 35-year-olds.
Exactly. More. It just powerfully underscores how much physical activity drives the production of this key longevity factor, no matter your age. It's not predetermined by the calendar.
That is a genuine aha moment.
Yeah.
That completely upends the typical narrative about aging. So, okay, if movement unlocks all this incredible stuff, better bones, muscle, brain health, more Klotho.
Yeah.
What are the practical things Dr. Wright says we should do? What are the actionable strategies?
Right, the what now part. She boils it down to 3 key exercise strategies. First, and she really emphasizes this, you need to lift heavy weights.
Heavy weights, okay, not just light repetitions.
No, the emphasis is on heavy, aiming for about 3 to 6 repetitions with a weight that feels challenging for you, something your bones can handle safely. This isn't just about building bigger muscles, although that happens. It's the stimulus your body needs to build stem cells, improve mitochondrial function, and critically, it builds the strength to prevent falls and fractures. And related to this, Dr. Wright stresses focusing on body composition, your muscle-to-fat ratio, not just the number on the scale.
That's an important distinction.
Huge, because if you only cut calories to lose weight, you can lose a lot of muscle. Maybe 25 to 50% of the weight loss can be muscle. And muscle is metabolically active. It's a glucose sink, right? It soaks up sugar from your blood. Lose that muscle, you become less healthy metabolically.
Right, like losing the sugar sponges.
Exactly. And then, when the diet inevitably stops, you tend to regain the weight, but studies show it often comes back as like 80% fat. So you end up worse off metabolically. Lifting heavy helps prevent that muscle loss. Okay, second strategy. Work in 20 jumps a day.
Jumps, just jumping.
Yeah, simple impact. It could be jumping up and down a couple of stairs, using a jump rope, maybe box jumps if you're able. Or if you have bone density issues or joint problems, using something like a Pilates reformer or a mini trampoline provides that impact more gently. The key is the mechanical stress. That impact sends biomechanical signals straight to your bones, telling them, hey, we need to get denser, lay down more bone matrix. So Dr. Wright actually notes that impact exercise, running, volleyball, basketball, is as predictive of your bone density as your age, sex, or even your genetics.
Wow, as predictive as genetics. That's saying something.
It really highlights how much we can influence bone health through activity. You need that stimulus. And the third strategy, get your heart rate up. She recommends aiming for about 45 to 60 minutes of brisk walking most days, just good, steady aerobic activity. And then maybe twice a week, throw in some short sprints. Doesn't have to be Olympic level, just brief bursts of higher intensity. This helps build muscle power and really boosts cardiovascular fitness.
Okay, so let's recap those 3 essentials. Walking for general activity and heart health, jumping for bone density stimulus, and lifting heavy weights for muscle strength and metabolic health. It sounds almost too simple, but the science behind each part is really solid.
It is simple in concept, but profound in effect when done consistently.
Okay, so that's the movement piece. What about diet? How does what we eat support all this healthy aging, mobility? What should we focus on, or maybe more importantly, avoid?
Yeah, nutrition is obviously a huge piece of the puzzle. Connecting back to that idea of cellular health and preventing chronic disease, probably the single most impactful thing, according to Dr. Wright, is to eliminate sugar spikes.
Flatten that glucose curve we hear about.
Exactly. Keeping your blood sugar relatively stable, avoiding those big peaks and crashes, it positively affects almost every health issue you can think of. Reduces inflammation, helps metabolic function, everything. And it's kind of shocking when you see the stats, like Americans consuming, on average, something like 16 pounds of added sugar per month.
16 pounds
You
a
think-
month. That's a lot.
It's enormous and often hidden in processed foods, drinks, you name it. So cutting that out is step 1. Then focus on a diet rich in green leafy vegetables, lots of nutrients and fiber there, and lean protein. Dr. Wright suggests aiming for around 1 gram of protein per pound of your lean body mass per day.
1 gram per pound of lean mass.
Okay. Yeah, that helps support muscle maintenance and growth. And when it comes to carbs, choose wisely. Go for fiber-rich, complex carbohydrates. Think sprouted multigrain bread, quinoa, beans over refined carbs like white bread, pastries, or sugary cereals.
Because the fiber slows down the sugar release.
Precisely. It prevents those damaging sugar spikes and helps manage inflammation. Simple swaps can make a big difference there.
Makes total sense. Stabilizing blood sugar is foundational. Okay, last piece of practical advice. For people really wanting to focus on bone health, are there any specific supplements Dr. Wright highlights?
Yes, she mentions 2 key ones. First is vitamin D, and it's really more than a vitamin. It acts like a hormone affecting so many systems, bones, immune function, even the brain. Her advice is pretty clear. Everyone should get their vitamin D levels checked via a blood test. If you're low, supplement. Then, crucially, recheck after a few months to make sure you're in the optimal range and find the right maintenance dose for you. It's not one size fits all. Oh, and she often suggests taking it with potassium, says it helps absorption.
Get levels checked, supplement, recheck. Got it. And the second one?
The second key player for bone health, working very closely with vitamin D, is magnesium. It's involved in hundreds of processes in the body, including bone formation. So D and magnesium are the big 2 for bones.
Okay, vitamin D and magnesium. Good to know. You know, what's really struck me listening to all this is just how interconnected everything is. The movement impacts the bones, the muscles release Klotho, the diet affects the inflammation and sugar. It all ties together. It really drives home that core message. Mobility isn't just, about getting around. It's literally life-saving medicine, and it's accessible to pretty much everyone.
That really is the transformative takeaway, isn't it? Understanding that your muscles have this incredible metabolic power, that your bones are dynamic communicators talking to your whole body, learning about proteins like Klotho working at a cellular level to keep you young. It just shifts your whole perspective on how your body works and what you can influence.
Exactly. And you don't need to become some super athlete overnight. It's about that daily, consistent investment. The walking, the jumping, the weight training. Combining that with good nutrition, maybe those targeted supplements like D and magnesium, it can have a profound impact on your health span, not just your lifespan.
Yeah.
It's about putting the power back in your hands.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe the thought to leave everyone with is this. If movement really is like that one pill for those 33 chronic diseases we talked about, what's one small, consistent action you could commit to starting today? Something that begins shifting your body's composition, improving your cellular health, making mobility your medicine. Just Maybe ponder how one tiny tweak to your daily routine could start unlocking some of these really profound life-changing benefits we've discussed.